And what's going on, everybody? Yes, sir. This is kind of a spontaneous live stream. I thought I'd just give it a shot because, hey, this is May 25th, the anniversary of the Star Wars saga. Yes, on this day, back in 1977, 46 years ago, we got Star Wars, and it came with a surprisingly massive bang. And yes, I was there, and and it was definitely life changing for sure. So, in case you want to know, please join me. If you want to join me, the link to my StreamYard is pinned in the chat. Feel free to join me because this is what we are going to do.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
That's right. And when George Lucas made Star Wars back in 1977, he did something that was groundbreaking at the time.
That's good. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
And so I'd like to hear from you guys. What was your experience? That's why I've invited people to come join my show, come join the live stream. Let's just see what happens here. So, feel free to come in. Now, once again, we are not going to be talking about the current state of Star Wars.
Disney.
Star Wars
Sucks.
We are going to talk about the Star Wars that we love from George Lucas.
Good, I can't maneuver.
Stay on target.
Too close.
Stay on target.
Because, as Han Solo said,
Where the fun begins.
yes, so it is an anniversary, not only with the Star Wars, but it's also the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Yes, so I just wanted to give my thoughts. I'm going to tell you my story here in a minute.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yes, it's a good day. This is the real Star Wars Day. Now, May 4th, granted, is an awesome day to be selected as Star Wars Day because it's, it's a play on words of May the Force be with you. But this is the real date that Star Wars premiered 46 years ago. So, again, does anybody want to join the chat? Join the stream? I've seen a few people have come in. No, nobody in the chat has popped in. So, again, this is just one of those things I kind of wanted to touch base because a lot of people had their story. Whether they saw in the theaters or not. I was in the 3rd grade when I first saw Star Wars. Now, Star Wars had come out when I was in the 2nd grade. I was in the 2nd grade. All my classmates had seen it. I never saw it. Summer came and went, still never saw it. My mom and dad just did not have the interest to go see it. They finally went in there to watch it themselves. They wanted to see if it was appropriate for my brother and me to go see it. And so we would do that. So they finally did. They finally took us to go see Star Wars, and it was so fun. In fact, during our recess, we back in the day, we'd get sticks that looked like guns, and we'd play Star Wars, and we'd have some of my classmates that would want to be Han and Luke and Chewie, and we'd fight these other classmates who were stormtroopers, and we would do the pew 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 sort of thing. And this was even before I saw Star Wars. I would play. When I finally went to see it, it was great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Even though I didn't fully understand it like I do now, it was so exciting. And I had classmates that wanted to see, that had seen Star Wars at least 3, 4, some of them seen it up to 6 times. And I so badly wanted to see it again. However, my dad had the mantra that you don't need to see it, that once is enough. And so I was very devastated when that happened. And so for me, it was, I was bummed out. It was, that was, I didn't get it back then. Yeah, as a father now, I kind of get it, because it's like money can be tight for families. So but I never understood that point of view uh, until I became a father myself. With that being said, I did get some Star Wars things. I didn't get any toys. Again, money was tight for us. We didn't. We never bought any toys. We never. All the action figures that were out. I never even made any models, any Star Wars models. When you would be able to assemble model airplanes. I never did that. There was a Star Wars game that came out. We never got that game. Never played that game. One thing I do remember getting though was the Star Wars cards. You go down to your local 7-Eleven, buy a deck of cards with a stick of gum, and you get get some cards. So I did get a few cards for me. But that's about it. I did get a T-shirt. Now the T-shirt that you see me wear on this channel, that Star Wars shirt, that was the kind of T-shirt I had back then. I remember, I believe it was a yellow T-shirt, and it had that exact picture on. I also had the that poster as well, the Star Wars poster. We hung that on our wall in our room. So that's kind of what was my stories with the original Star Wars. And so for me, I just wanted to know what memories do you have of Star Wars? Please let me know in the comments. If you're not in the live chat, please when this is uploaded, let me know in the comments. So that was basically my first Star Wars movie experience, seeing it. So, like I said, I'm not trying to organize a pity party or anything. That's just what it was for me, for my family. For me, I never got into the books. I never bought any toys. Now, I did have a cousin that any time that we went over to visit him, he had a boatload of action figures. I mean, action figures of characters that were just in the background. He had the Millennium Falcon. He had an X-wing. Uh, he had all the characters, Luke and Han and Leia and Vader and Obi-Wan, Hammerhead, the Cantina Band, Greedo. I was jealous. And the reason being is because our cousin was an only child. But, again, each family was different. We couldn't afford to get things as much. And so, but like I said, I do remember getting a few of the trading cards that we had back then. Let me see if I got. I did get this. Now, when the special edition came out back in '97, my two sons that I had at the time, they were still fairly young. They were, let's see. My oldest son was not even 2 when the special edition came out, and my other son, who I had taken with to go see the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary at our local theaters, that I had a blast with that, taking him, because he himself is a Star Wars fan. But I did get this. I did get the original trilogy. Now, it is the special edition. And, I haven't played it in a while. But my virtual background's interesting. But this is the original trilogy, special edition that I had. Now, I know my mom there's a possibility that my mom might have the original trilogy, but it is so buried in her storage, it might be hard to find. They're going through it because they just recently moved to a new housing area. And so they're slowly getting their storage unit. They got their storage unit cleaned out, and it's all in my sister's garage. And so she, little by little, she's going through. And so if there is the original edition of the original trilogy floating around in their garage, if my sister finds it, she's going to let me know. She's going to see whether or not they have it, and if not, I'll share that. But like I said, the original trilogy, it's not the Blu-ray edition, so it does not have those ridiculous Blu-ray editions. The special edition still does use Sebastian Stan as the Force Ghost Anakin in Return of the Jedi. Now, when Empire Strikes Back came out, my parents, once again, they had to see it themselves before my brother and I could see it. And they liked it a lot better than Empire. And so they took us to go see Empire, and oh my goodness, how that was my favorite. And that I was able to actually see, I think it was twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not sure. I did see it with my parents, and then I might have seen it again once or twice. And to me, Now, back then, you'd have kids that would give spoilers out there. And so before even seeing the movie, someone told me, "Oh my gosh, Darth Vader's Luke's father." And I'm like, shut up. No, he is not. And then when I saw it, even though I knew it was coming, the shock was still there. That was again, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Down the road, I think what I'm going to do, eventually, what I'm going to do is, let's see. I'm going to share my top 5 favorite Star Wars movies of all time. And Empire, it's safe to say, is number 1. In fact, the original trilogy is in the top 5. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to reveal any spoilers. But then also we have Return of the Jedi, which is the 40th anniversary because it was also released on this day 40 years ago. Now, a couple of weeks ago, like I said earlier, when Return of the Jedi came to select theaters, it came to our area, our theater. And so my son, who was born in 97, he wasn't even born when the special edition of the original trilogy came out. So he never got to watch the movies in the theaters. So to me, that was special. Now to him, he had a different take. He was like, it was nice seeing it in the theater, but it's the same thing as just watching it on DVD, which was fine. He still loved it. I loved it. In fact, when the end result happened, people clapped, and then I shouted out, "This is the real Star Wars." And then the applause went even louder. Because again, with Disney Star Wars, we just, with the exception of one movie,
Disney.
Star Wars.
Sucks.
So again, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this. So, speaking of Return of the Jedi, I came in. I wanted to. That was the one movie that I was able to see without mom and dad going with us. It was myself, my brother, and my sister, and so we all saw Return of the Jedi together. And of course, my sister, who was young at the time, loved the Ewoks. Yeah, they were okay. Looking at it now, it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, they're helpful with Han and the Rebels. But with that being said, that wasn't my thing. It's like I was in the 8th grade when Return of the Jedi came out. I was more interested in seeing Leia in her slave bikini. I'm sure a lot of people were. But for me, it just, to me, even though they showed some cool scenes, and we saw the Emperor, I loved the first two better. Let's just say that Return of the Jedi was the least of my favorites of the original trilogy, because they could have done something better. Even though Darth Vader redeemed himself and returned to Anakin, they could have had him better, in my opinion. He could have done it better. He didn't have to sacrifice himself. He could have killed the Emperor with Luke's lightsaber, in my opinion. And a lot of people feel that, him throwing the Emperor down the shaft was like basically him, throwing his dark side away, which I get, but to me, I think you know, if that's just, I just didn't think it was all that necessary. It's like, why can't we get Vader to survive? Uh, let him kill the Emperor, but survive doing so. That's just my opinion about it. Um, so again, now I did not see it right away because at the time, back in '83, our local movie theater decided to practically double the normal ticket price. And my dad was furious about that when he heard that were almost double pricing Return of the Jedi. We didn't see it right away, and which, again, I didn't understand at the time, but I also kind of figured it out because it's like about that time I also had a paper route, so it's like I knew about having money, spending a little money, and I was wanting to get my movie ticket and my popcorn and things like that. But because they upped the price, and this was temporary, so it's like I had to wait for a little bit until they dropped the price to their normal ticket price. Then we were able to see it. Unfortunately, we had kids in my classes that were just telling the whole stinking story, and finally one kid told this one girl who was just saying everything, revealing all these spoilers. He'd just say, "Shut up. We will see it. Stop talking about the movie." It was, again, it's like back then, it's like, people would do, would give you spoilers. And it's like, I hated that. There was lots of movies that I went to go see with some of my friends who had seen it, and they would tell you, "Oh man, look, well, what's going to happen." And I'm, it's like I just wanted to pulverize them, tell them to shut up. So that's, again, but when I saw when I finally did see it, it was still good. I love that Luke Skywalker saber. I mean, that was great. But it's just the ending. It was nice, but I think it could have been better. That's just my opinion, And speaking of kids who like to give spoilers out when you go see a movie.
Go ahead!
Yeah, that just makes me I want to tell them. So, that was just my experience. Did anybody see Star Wars in the theaters? With the original trilogy? Like I said, if you're in the live chat, let me know. If not, if you're watching this on replay, let me know. Now, what's nice about with the original trilogy, I don't have it downloaded, but I do have the original trilogy, the non-special edition, saved on my computer. So it's like I can watch the originals, because they're special editions. Some of the scenes that they added, I didn't care for. But again, it was nice. To me, I mean, even granted, it was still better. It's still better than what we have with the current Star Wars situation. But again, I really like what George did. I mean, what he did was very life changing. So, George, for thank you for doing everything that you have done um, for your fans who loved this. Very eye opening. You did an excellent. You were a visionary.
Here's to you.
Cheer! Cheer! Cheer!
So again, that was my experience. I saw it with, and again, watching Return of the Jedi. I did see it at least a couple times. Uh, you know, it was the one, like I said, it was the first movie that I saw that my mom and dad had not taken my brother and I. In fact, like when Return of the Jedi, it came out, and my brother and I went there, and our sister, like I said earlier, went with us. And so, again, like I didn't collect any toys. I didn't, collect any memorabilia. Like I said earlier, I only had the trading cards, a few of them. Uh, uh, when Star Wars came out, we played Star Wars during recess with stick guns. I mean, go figure. Yeah, we pick up sticks that look like guns, and we're running around with them, and our teachers are getting livid with that, and but that was a different time back then. We didn't have any safety conscious things to do. So again, this is a good day for the release of Star Wars. It's the anniversary day.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
So again, I'm not the type of person who will collect all the toys. There's a lot of the people that I subscribe to who have Star Wars collections in their backgrounds, in their studios. It's For one thing, I don't have room. I don't have room, to store any of these. Like I said, the main thing I have this. And let me see if I do have something else here. Oh. I can't. Oh, there they are. There they are. Okay, let's see. So when the prequels did come out, I did have that collection on DVD. Now these the covers on a couple of these the plastic is ripped, but got the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and of course Revenge of the Sith. This Revenge of the Sith was the very first movie that I took my sons. That was their first Star Wars movie in the theaters. Because when Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones came out, they were still pretty young. Actually, I take that back. I believe, the Phantom Menace came out. They were still young. It was young to take them to the theaters. I think, though, Attack of the Clones was their first movie that they saw in the theaters, if I remember right. Again, my boys are grown up now, and my son that I took to go see Return of the Jedi a couple weeks ago, he's into Star Wars. And in fact, he uses the Star Wars ringtone for his phone. And I did buy them some lightsabers, just the plastic toys. None of those special special sabers that you see some of the YouTubers possess. That just was never my thing. Again, because of lack of storage at my house, it's just I got no room to put these things. But again, going back to just the anniversary of Star Wars, how it was, how it was just so changing for the movie industry back then, and then the genius of that George put by making all these merchandises, and it was just nothing but Star Wars.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Yeah, nothing but Star Wars. And like I said, I never got into the toy collections. I never possessed any toys, or I just had, like I said, trading cards and some a poster that we put in our room, and that was about the gist of it. So I got no regrets about it. And, it is what it is. Each family is different. With trying to make a living. And you can't just, as a father myself, with not only with my two sons, but with my two daughters, buying things for them. I mean, we have to carefully plan this out. So, and of course, again, they're grown up, so they can, get their own merchandise that they absolutely like. But again, this is a good day with the release of Star Wars. Let me see. So normally I'm going to give this, play this clip. Normally I give this clip to the people who I subscribe to. But hey, let's give George Lucas a shout out.
This one's for you.
That's cool. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
You're awesome.
Outstanding.
Most impressive.
Good job, man.
You're awesome.
You're the best.
You, the man.
You're doing a good job, kid. Keep up the good work.
Good job, man.
You're badass.
Most impressive.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, George, for giving us an awesome movie, and then followed by an even more awesome movie with Empire Strikes Back. And then with another, it was still awesome, just not as awesome as the first two, in my opinion, but an awesome trilogy fought with the conclusion with Return of the Jedi. So that's about all I have for this. So let me know about your Star Wars experiences. Even though there's nobody joined me in the chat, nobody joined me in the live stream, I just want to thank you guys for watching this. And so let's see what we can do here.
Where the fun begins.
Good, I can't maneuver.
Stay on target.
Too close.
Stay on target.
Yes. Try to stay on target. And that's what George did. He stayed on target with his stories. And again, I can't, I don't think there's anything else that I can really say. So I'm going to go ahead and so, okay, Paul, Pacific. So thank you for doing that. So yeah, go ahead, and when you get up, if you want to watch this, and you can watch the repeat. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Like I said, this was just a spontaneous stream that I thought I'd do. It was last minute. It was just something I'd think about because other channels were doing the other channels were doing okay, yeah, thank you. So again, other channels like Pacific 414, he did a live stream. Have a good one. Didn't have much to say, but good stream. Okay, thanks, Brooke Chen. I appreciate that. Again, if you're watching this on the repeat, you can just leave a comment as to your experience of seeing Star Wars. When was your first experience in the? What movie was your first Star Wars movie in the theaters? That's what I would like to know. So, thank you so much, Nova Vaughn here. Just reminding you that's never too late to take for a new beginning in your life. So be positive, be cool, and you'll be all right.